Okay.
What's up, guys, and welcome to Tnashi's Movie Corner. And for today's movie review, I will be reviewing 10 Cloverfield Lane, which just came out, and it was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, probably said that right, but written by Josh Campbell and Matthew Stucken, and stars John Goodman, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and John Gallagher Jr. So, after getting in a car accident, a woman is held in a shelter by a man who claims the outside world is affected by a widespread chemical attack. Now, the title, obviously, 10 Cloverfield Lane, and being that J.J. Abrams, I believe, was a producer on it, many people were led to believe that this would be a sequel to the Cloverfield movie that came out. And I'm going to tell you up front, that's not the case. If you go in and expecting that, you're going to be disappointed for sure, because it's definitely not that. I believe J.J. Abrams even came out and said that it was like a kind of blood cousin to the original film. Obviously, having Cloverfield in the title, I could see how people would get confused by that. And, you know, if you go in expecting that, and I think a lot of people will, unfortunately, go in expecting that, they're bound to be disappointed. The main focus of the movie is more of a suspense thriller, which I was actually on board with. I enjoyed that notion of it. It all, like, about 90% of the movie takes place in a bunker. And you have this woman, again, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who does an excellent performance, as do all the main characters here. But she's, you know, we have her on the run, she kind of leaves, there's a situation, she leaves her fiance, and she suddenly gets in this car accident. She wakes up in the shelter. She doesn't know what is going on. She's just been told by John Goodman's character, Howard, that there's been this, you know, chemical attacks, you know, possible aliens. Don't really know what's all going on, but that she'll be safe down there. So the main focus is her, you know, dealing with all this and Howard and everything in the shelter. And John Goodman as Howard gives the best performance by far. Like, the other two are good, but it's really his character who, it's interesting to see him do this type of character, because this guy has a bit of a switch, you know. He'll be fine, and all of a sudden the switch will flip and he'll just go nuts and all that. And you spend the majority of the movie trying to figure out if he's purely crazy or if he has some sense of logic. And there's clues along the way, you know. There's moments where things get revealed and you're like, okay, you think it's going to go one way or it might go the another way, what have you. So that was all real interesting. I actually really like that. And Michelle as a character has a bit of an arc to her as well. Emmett's character's brought in, you know, kind of as the third party in this, and I thought, again, fine acting on that part. Not as big of a role, not as important. Obviously, we're following Michelle and Howard being kind of the antagonist of it, the villain of the film. You know, there's not a whole lot for Emmett to do, but I liked the character of Emmett, so I thought that was interesting. So the acting, the suspense of it, the characters themselves, and the way that the kind of the tension of the story, the clues following, all that was working pretty well for me. I like that. There are some problems with the film. A lot of people have an issue with the ending. I don't have a specific issue with the actual ending, like, if that's what they're referring to, the actual ending of it. I have an issue with it. But I'm going to get into some of my issues. So, being that it has Cloverfield Lane, and that it's supposed to, at least it's presenting itself as in some way being relevant to Cloverfield. It's very hard to see that. Now, there's apparently one line in the film that might suggest something. But I think the initial thing is obviously that there's an alien presence in the film, or in Cloverfield, and that's what people were expecting here. They were expecting that same alien presence, and that's not what you get. There is something that happens. The film does shift near the end of it. All things kind of come through, and I I understand the build up to it. It made sense, and once you have the revelation, you look back on character moments, and you're like, okay, I can see some of that, and it kind of brings that to a new light, and I'm okay with that. But what you don't get is you don't get a direct sequel. If you know JJ's comments, it's fine, but the last, I don't even know if it's 10 minutes. The last portion of the movie after the reveal happens is so quick and goes through so much, and since so much of the focus was in the shelter, it feels tonally like a completely different movie, so that threw me off. So there's that, and there's character arcs that just abruptly come full circle, abruptly have their completion, and it's like, okay, I don't understand that, because again, you're throwing the focus off the film in a way, and I don't know, it just felt weird. But I do like Michelle's arc, so I like everything. I like a lot of stuff that involves her. We don't get closure as far as the initial thing that set everything in motion, but and there's definitely a lot of questions to be answered. But at the same time, I felt the film was solid. It was lacking for me on that, because it wasn't a Cloverfield sequel, so it was lacking in that sense. Yet it wasn't truly what it was presenting to me for the first 90% of the movie, because it totally shifted and everything threw me off too. So given a rating, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Overall, it was fine. I just think that there was too many things that started happening abruptly, character arcs that weren't quite resolved, though they were just quickly thrown away, and there's a lot of questions to be asked for sure. I don't know, there's just a lot of moments that just fell off, and there was a disconnect with the movie, and that really took it down a lot. But anyway, so that is my opinion on it. But what did you guys think? Go ahead and let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you enjoyed this vid. Click that like button, share, subscribe to my channel, and watch my other vids. Thanks, and peace.